Good afternoon everyone, Jason Warren for DT Met, and I have an update on the winter storm that's coming for the middle of the week. And this could potentially be a significant winter storm for portions of the central and eastern United States. On the water vapor satellite imagery early this afternoon, we can see our system already out here over the Great Basin. This is an upper level low, and it's going to dive southward through the Four Corners area toward western Texas and northern Mexico. Once it gets down here, it's expected to turn toward the east and move out over Texas, where it is expected to intensify and develop an area of surface low pressure somewhere over central or eastern Texas. Models are in fair agreement through Monday, showing the system digging sharply to the south and then turning toward the east and developing a surface low over Texas, with heavy rain and snow breaking out across Texas and Oklahoma. With the rapid influx of Gulf moisture on Monday, this is when we could begin to see some severe weather break out across portions of eastern Texas, especially near the Gulf Coast, during the day on Monday. The system will rapidly intensify as it spreads northeastward, with heavy snow to the northwest of the storm track, from portions of North Texas and Oklahoma northeastward into the mid-Mississippi Valley and eventually into the lower Great Lakes and lower Ohio Valley. To the south is where we'll see the threat for severe weather across portions of the mid and lower Mississippi Valley down to the Gulf Coast. The system will continue to intensify as it spreads northeastward into the lower Great Lakes Tuesday night and Wednesday, with heavy snow around the backside of the system through portions of the mid-Mississippi Valley and up into the Great Lakes, with the threat for heavy rain and storms through portions of the mid-Atlantic states down into the southeast. On the front end of the system, across portions of the mid-Atlantic states, especially across the Appalachians, there could be some icing, particularly in some of the colder valleys where the cold air may have a hard time being scoured out. And these areas could see some significant ice accumulations prior to the precipitation changing over to rain. There could also be some snow accumulations further north across portions of Pennsylvania and New York prior to a changeover to a wintry mix. For the big cities along the I-95 corridor from Boston to New York, Philadelphia, Washington, and Baltimore, looks like this will primarily be a rain event, with some areas, especially from New York to Boston, possibly starting as snow or a mixture of wintry precipitation, but the bulk of the precipitation is likely to fall as rain for the major cities. Areas to the north and west is where we'll see a better chance of mixed precipitation or some snow accumulation before any changeover. This is just one run of one model, and there are still differences in the ensembles and amongst the different global models, but in general they're in fair agreement with the system moving up through the Ohio Valley and into the lower Great Lakes. But subtle differences in the track and intensity of the storm could shift where the heaviest snow falls and how much falls. And because of these uncertainties, we're not ready to put out a snow map just yet. Instead, we'll focus on the impacts, which include the threat for severe weather over portions of the southeast and the Gulf Coast states, and the threat for a band of heavy snow extending from portions of the southern plains in Texas and Oklahoma northeastward to the lower Great Lakes and Ohio Valley. And that would continue northeastward into portions of interior New England as well. For areas to the southeast of the snow area, especially from the Appalachians to coastal portions of New England, there could be significant icing before a changeover to rain, especially across the deeper valleys in the Appalachians. Again, for the I-95 corridor, this looks like mainly a rain event with a possible mix at the beginning of the storm, with heavy rain expected to the south and east. And once again, any changes to the track of the system will change where the heaviest snow falls and how much falls. So we'll continue to monitor model trends and issue additional forecasts and updates as new information becomes available.